Hi guys, it's Nicole for Tracie Reed Designs today. If you are new here, welcome. If you've been around, welcome back. This is my second project with the Bookish release, and I'm going to warn you now, this video is going to be quick because this layout came together very quickly. I'm actually using scraps from the first layout that I made with this, which I'll link in the eye above. And for this one, I really liked the book tracker that Tracie designed, and she actually went back and like reworked it to where you can print the whole thing and like fold it and make it into an actual like traveler's notebook and keep track of your stuff. What I did was the same thing that I do with the pattern papers that are traveler notebook sized. Is I just drop two of them onto a letter sized canvas in Photoshop Elements and print them out side by side. I took the page that had the reading goals title, and then there's these cute little like dot pattern in the background, and I'm going to reprint my journaling onto that. Originally, I had my journaling printed in kind of like a 2-inch by 8-inch section because I thought that I was going to do something a little bit different. But sometimes when you start working with stuff and really kind of seeing how things fit, you kind of sometimes you gotta pivot and rework it. So this was kind of a better solution for me because I'm seeing more of that tracker printout. I'm using it more for its like intended purpose. I just personally do not care for my handwriting, so I like to type my journaling and stuff like that. And my journaling, just listen, don't read it. I have said this before. I read for entertainment. I read to kind of escape daily life, and my reading is very much mood-based. And last year, the aliens hit hard, and I kept finding series, and it was like a book a day. So it was kind of like... they're kind of like Hallmark movies. You know exactly what you're going to get. The names are going to be different. Maybe the town or the planet is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be quick. It's going to be rinse and repeat. Keep giving it to me kind of a thing. So I input everything that I read into Storygraph. I'm not loving Goodreads, so I'm kind of making a better effort for 2025 to track a little bit better in Storygraph as far as like when I start something and when I finish something, because at the end of the year the charts that it gives you are a little bit more accurate. Mine were saying that it took me like an average of 14 days to finish a book, and I know that that's not true, but I was using like generic dates to kind of just log everything. So here you can see these are the leftover traveler notebook prints from the first layout that I did with this, and you can see there's squares die cut from the middle. I intentionally die cut from the middle of these because I had this kind of like mentally planned that I wanted to sort of have this like messy array of traveler notebook papers kind of laid out, all overlapping and messy, with my reading stats kind of peeking out here and there. I took some different notebook border punches that I have. These are all super old. I don't even know if you can get them anymore. Anytime somebody asks me about border punches, my go-to is usually to say check eBay, check Etsy, and then Facebook de-stash groups is kind of where you can find those. I kind of wish that they would have a resurgence and come back, but I don't know. Even if they came out with like dye versions, but like longer. I don't know. I like to just keep using the same old. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck all these different little pieces behind my quote unquote photos. My photos are technically that big array of the covers, which they're a little bit blown out and kind of blurry, which I actually prefer that because I don't think that you necessarily need to like read the titles for all the books that I read during the year. I just liked how everything looked overall, and it gave me a photo. The other photo that I'm using are all of those little like charts and pie graphs and stuff like that. Those were also screenshots from Storygraph, and then I just kind of cropped them and stacked them into a 4x8 canvas in Photoshop. There's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. basically I just want small sections of some of my favorite patterns peeking out, so I made sure to use the pattern that has the repeating bookshelves kind of peeking out over on the side. And then I'm placing like the tracker, the reading goals, my photos kind of overlapped, wonky. I'm about to cover up half of all of those covers, and I'm okay with that. I want this to kind of just look like almost like files on a desk that you've sort of opened up, you've spread out, and you're looking at them. So I just keep tucking things in. I don't really care or pay attention to that 4x8 piece, like going, I don't keep it lined up, I guess is what I should say. I cut them in half to be able to tuck them a little bit better. But when you look at like the top, it's not going to line up with the bottom and look like a continuous piece of paper behind there. I just kind of kept it relatively in the same area so that the colors looked good next to each other. You guys should know by now that my videos and my voiceovers are on par with how I craft, and it's kind of just chaotic and kind of messy, not super organized, but more like fun. Like you're just peeking into what's going on behind the scenes, and I try not to take things too seriously. So if you're looking for a super serious tutorial, I would check out Tracie's blog and some of the girls over there. I'm just here to kind of show you how you can look at some of these, you know, supplies that are, you know, a lot of people I think look at the traveler notebooks and say, you know, I don't scrap in that 4x8 size, so I don't think that these would work for me. And I find myself pulling them more and more because I think that they are super easy to print. I think they're super easy to use for die cutting purposes, and if you're only using like small portions of a pattern paper, kind of saves a little bit on printing. And I just really like the smaller like pattern print. To me, it's kind of like a 6x6 paper pad in a sense. So I still have all 3 sheets of the stickers, which are like the die cuts from the Bookish collection. I think I still had some on my mat that I hadn't taken off. There are so many that came with this, and I just went through and found things that I felt like fit with this, and I'm gonna keep going with this sort of just messy, loose kind of vibe with the embellishments and just tuck them here and there. And then the genre tracker, I thought about kind of trying to color in and do some stuff with that, but really I don't, like I said, I don't pay super close attention to like what I'm reading. I'm reading for entertainment. I'm reading, you know, to get tired and go to bed. I'm reading in my car because I'm waiting for my kids. Like I don't super track. I don't do reviews. Half the time, you know, the next day after I finish a book, I couldn't tell you the names of the characters. I have kind of like a Dory memory when it comes to books, and it's probably just because of the amount that I read. So yeah, there is my finished layout. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you take a closer look at some of the Traveler's Notebook sized elements in the shop. And I thank you guys for hanging out with me and watching my content. Hopefully YouTube will recommend something that you think looks interesting here. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love for you to join me, and hopefully I'll catch you guys later.